Well, Trump's immigration enforcement actions this week, they sought to clarify it by issuing some new guidance, but the raids have been raising tensions in localities between federal ICE agents who are carrying out the raids and the local law enforcement agents who they need to help them with carrying them out. And some of the raids are actually starting to impact, and these enforcement actions are starting to impact people who are not undocumented immigrants. A plane full of people were searched for their IDs recently. A Southern California raid detained several people who were in the country legally. And some of these tensions are rising to the level of the attention of members of Congress who are hearing from local officials, mayors, police chiefs about the trouble that some of these raids are getting them in with their local populations. This is going to be one of those cases where immigration enforcement is going to bump up against law enforcement at the local level. And we might start to see not just the Democrats speaking out about this, but some Republicans getting a little bit uneasy about the tough spot that these actions are putting local law enforcement officers across the country.
Another great example of all politics is local. They might come back angry, some members of Congress. Jeff?
Well, Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell have a date with President Trump at the White House on Monday. They are going to go to get a preview of the president's joint address to a joint session of Congress on Tuesday evening. They're are hoping to hear, his optimistic message, but they also have an ask for him. They are still trying to get some things into his speech. That's why that meeting is happening tomorrow. They desperately want him to talk specifics, at least a couple more, about health care. Particularly Paul Ryan wants to sort of endorse the broad outlines of the House plan. But they also are still left unsure. What does he think about the border adjustment tax? That is something that his administration has not been completely clear on. He has expressed support for it in some places, not in other places. That's a controversial item between the Speaker and Majority Leader, so they're hoping that does not come up. But they do want to try and get him to talk a little more about health care.
A little bit more about health care. Reed?
Sticking with the healthcare theme, the National Governors Association is here in Washington this week, meeting with the Trump administration, and the top priority for them is the Affordable Care Act and what is going to come next. President Obama's signature domestic legislative achievement has some strange defenders, Republican governors, specifically those who accepted funding for Medicaid expansion. Without that money, their states are going to have billions of dollars in budget holes, or they're going to have to choose to kick thousands of people off of their health care coverage. Neither is a politically popular choice, so you're going to see a lot of Republicans defending Obamacare because they don't want to have to go home and kick a bunch of people off their coverage.
That's a great point. Margaret?
Keep your eye on H.R. McMaster, the new National Security Council head. The president's national security advisor represents so far, and this will be his second full week on the job, the first sort of calming news story in a sea of otherwise not calm news stories. So look, last week he not only had this all hands-on meeting where he addressed the full National Security Council staff, applause, laughter. He kind of had them eating out of the palm of his hand, covered all the bases from Russia to Islamic terrorism to Iran and in between. But he also was part of a dinner with President Trump. In the week ahead, let's look to see what sort of changes he begins to implement in terms of the way that staff is organized, the power structures, and how he begins to try to change how President Trump thinks and talks about everything from Islamic terror to Russia.
New sheriff with the National Security Agency. I'm going to close by piggybacking on Mr. Zeleny a bit more on the expectations for the president's speech to that joint session Tuesday night. Just how specific he will be is a contentious issue, especially on some of the big questions. Take tax reform. In a Reuters interview the other day, the president spoke favorably of what Jeff just talked about, the border adjustment tax central to the leading House Republican tax reform plan. The president said it could help create American jobs, but Senate Republicans are far more skeptical of the idea. And out in the country, the Conservative Club for Growth is beginning ads against key House members, arguing the proposal would end up raising prices on American families. Now, while his overall approval numbers are weak, the president's standing among Republican voters is quite strong. And the degree to which he gets specific now could help tilt some early internal party skirmishes. But, as Jeff noted, it's a mixed bag. The GOP House leadership might like his kind words for their tax ideas, for example, but they cringe at times when the president talks specifics about Obamacare, because in the past, he's professed his support for some of the law's most expensive provisions. So watch the specifics Tuesday night and watch the speech. I hope you watch it right here.